What is going on, ERB sports fans? It's John and back with another video. And for today's video, or tonight's video, I am on my deck outside. It is summertime in Indiana. Water in the grass. It's dry as can be. I promised myself I wouldn't buy any Series 2. And lo and behold, when I went to Target yesterday, the vendor was there, and I just had to ask. I said, do you have any Series 2 hanger boxes? And he said, actually, I do. He said, how many do you want? Now, the limit was 5. And against my better judgment, I didn't buy 5, but I bought 4. So we're gonna open one here tonight, and then we're also gonna do a little update on my research for who I think are good picks for this weekend's Open Championship, or the British Open. Been doing a little bit of light research, understanding who the favorites are, who everybody's sort of picking, and what attributes when it comes to the players' stats are important for this week, and who I think are players to keep an eye on. So before we get into that, we'll go ahead and open this, get this one out of the way. How's everybody doing there on a Tuesday night? And the last couple hanger boxes that I opened were absolutely pathetic. They were awful. I only had 3 insert cards per box, which was not good at all. It's a little windy out. I need to make sure that my debris doesn't fly away. So I'm gonna put it back in the box. I'm gonna make sure the box is on the ground. This will be a different experience because I have nowhere to put the cards except on the table. But this was a fun place that I hadn't ripped cards before, and I figured I'd go ahead and give it a try. So, what are we gonna do? Let's cut the deck. Let's do the latter half of the deck. We'll save the good stuff for last. We're just gonna breeze through this. Not really gonna call it any names. If I get anything good, I'll stop for it. But we wanna get into the other topic as well. We won't even separate the rookies. I don't see the point unless we get like an O'Neal Cruz or something. Okay. Yep, nothing crazy there. All right. Good half of the stack. We might have an orange or a red foil. That's good. Let's see what else we got. Nothing crazy yet. I would love one of those short print rookies. That would be nice. Okay, nothing crazy yet. All right, getting to the good stuff. We've got nothing crazy. We've got an orange foil. Okay, that is an orange. It's a team card. Oh my god. Oh, this is unbelievable. Team NL Phillies. Okay, well, at least it's a good picture. I like that picture of JT Realmuto and Bryce Harper. So yeah, well, we got one orange foil board card. Not gonna really make the box. For a $12 box, I tend to think that card was not gonna get the job done. There's our Stars of the MLB cards. I've gotten Jose Abreu in the 87 throwback, and then Jim Palmer and Lance McCullers is our last card. So that hanger box was meh. Kind of what I figured, although we did get this one 117 out of 299, so I'll take that. All right, let's get into the Open Championship. I got the DraftKings app up in front of me. We'll go kind of like favorites down to long shots. And one of the things that was interesting to me when I did a little bit of research, everybody says the course is going to play very dry. The course is dried out, it's very crispy already. So the balls are going to run out. The shortness of this course, it's only 7,300 yards, but it is very flat. It's a par 72, only 2 par 5s, 2 par 3s, a lot of par 4s. That means 14 par 4s, unlike most courses which would have significantly less par 4s. This is going to favor hitters who can hit the ball far, and the other thing is it's going to favor hitters who can, or players who can avoid 3 putts. So I looked a little bit into the 3-putt avoidance on the PGA Tour stats for this year. Now I know the PGA Tour aren't the only stats you should look at, but that's a pretty good sample size. And so kind of looking at this sort of top to bottom, names that stand out to me, I'll try to highlight them. Hopefully they'll show up on the video. So I think the first two, you could pick Rory, you could pick Xander Schauffele. They definitely would be worthy picks. 9-1 and 12-1, not too bad. Scotty Scheffler, I think you could definitely take a flyer on him. It's not really a flyer, he is a favorite, but his stats would play out well at the Open Championship. Justin Thomas, his stats definitely play pretty well for the Open Championship. Jordan Spieth, I think Jordan Spieth's the first guy that I'm kind of like salivating over to place a bet on at 16-1. John Rahm is there at 16-1. Patrick Cantlay's at 20-1. Now, Patrick Cantlay, at some point, this guy's going to win a major. It may not happen this week, but it certainly will happen within the next couple of years. He cannot keep playing the golf he plays and sort of have the potential he has to not deliver. So I think Patrick Cantlay could certainly be a player. Cameron Smith is another guy that I got my eye on. He is also due kind of for a win at a major. Very competitive when it comes to the Masters. He's really good in 3-putt avoidance. I think he's like in the top 10 in the PGA Tour on 3-putt avoidance. Will Zalatoris, another guy I got my eye on. I don't think Collin Morikawa goes back-to-back. Looking at the course history and sort of like the Open Championship history, it is very, very rare that players end up repeating in the Open Championship year over year. I think only Tiger Woods has done that, and it was many, many years ago, almost 20 years ago. So I really don't think Collin Morikawa is going to repeat, although I think he will be competitive. I think he's a pretty good bet for a top 10. Dustin Johnson, this is a Live Tour guy. I don't know that I'd bet on Dustin Johnson, but you could always say never bet against Dustin Johnson. So Louis Oosthuizen has amazing course history at St. Andrews. He won here in 2010, and then he finished second or third or something like that in 2015 when Zach Johnson won. Tyrrell Hatton, I heard a lot of people talking him up. He's at 40-1. Tyrrell Hatton's extremely streaky. He'll either miss the cut or he'll be right there. The guy's never really won anything, so I'm not sure I would bet on him to win this week, but he could definitely surprise us and be near the top of the leaderboard when Sunday comes around. Another guy that I have my eye on, Victor Hovland. Victor Hovland is another player that I think hits the ball pretty solidly, has pretty good 3-putt avoidance, and certainly that would be important this week. Tiger Woods in the field at 60-1. Tiger Woods, in this flat course, if there was a major for him to be competitive in, this would be the one, because it is such a flat kind of easy course to walk. All the holes are very close to each other. They're literally right on top of each other. It is out and back, 9 holes out, 9 holes back. Nothing special, nothing too fancy about that. Tiger Woods, the fatigue factor won't be a factor this week like it was at the PGA and in the Masters. However, I just don't think he's going to win. Sungjae Im is a guy at 65-1. I think he's another one that has good 3-putt avoidance, and his game kind of suits this course. Couple other names, real flyers here. Taylor Gooch was #1 in the PGA Tour in 3-putt avoidance. I think he 3-putts like 1% of the time. I just don't know that his game is good enough to win. If I was going to bet on Taylor Gooch, the way I would do that is if I was putting in a DraftKings lineup based on, depends how his price is, but I might be one that, you build a lineup with Taylor Gooch in the lineup. And then that pretty much does it for the list of players in terms of who I think would have a chance to win this week. There's obviously some real long shots. This is just an early lean. I'm definitely going to do a follow-up to this one as time draws closer. One of the things about the Open Championship, more so than any other major, that's important is the draw you get. You either get like Thursday morning, Thursday afternoon, Friday morning, Friday afternoon, and the weather can play a huge factor in terms of how the players get around the golf course. You get the wrong end of that draw and you can find yourself a significant penalty on the leaderboard relative to the other players who got the easier of the two draws. It may not play out every year, but St. Andrews. I've been to that course. I know exactly where it is. It is literally right on the North Sea. There is nothing that separates that course from the sea winds, and so if they are howling on the day, Thursday or Friday, when certain groups go off, it will definitely be a factor. I think they actually had to stop play there a couple years ago because balls were oscillating on some of the greens because they were mowing them obviously so short, and there was such a great degree of winds, and they didn't want to put water on the greens and sort of soften them up. So balls were oscillating and it was preventing play from continuing. So a lot to keep in mind. Just real quick recap, kind of go down the list. So my top picks so far, I'd say Scotty Scheffler, Jordan Spieth, Patrick Cantlay, Cameron Smith, Will Zalatoris, Louis Oosthuizen, I'm not going to mention Tyrrell Hatton, Victor Hovland, and Sungjae Im at 65-1. So those are my early leans. The other thing to note as we wrap up this video, so thanks for everybody for watching. The Open Championship, when you look at the history of who wins, you obviously have Americans and you have like all the international players. There are very, very few instances where Americans win in back-to-back years. So I think this year, Colin Morikawa was last year's champion. Now certainly an American could win this year, and that could certainly change up the way things kind of play out normally. But if that were the case, my top pick of non-Americans, just kind of looking at this list, would be Cameron Smith. It would be Louis Oosthuizen. I just don't think he's going to win again, though. It would be Victor Hovland, and it would probably be Sungjae Im. So those would be my top 3 choices, just simply playing the Americans don't win every year. They don't win 2 years in a row. It kind of switches back and forth between international players, European players, and Americans. So Americans won last year. Americans finished quite well last year. I still think Americans could finish well this year. Jordan Spieth, obviously, very, very good history at St. Andrews. So that'll definitely be something to pay attention to. And since it's only Tuesday, I could change my mind by Wednesday. And I'm going to be betting every single day. So depending on where guys finish day 1, I'm going to be betting on them. And as sort of that varying degree of odds changes, I've got a helicopter flying overhead, so try to dub that out. But anyway, guys, have a great rest of your Tuesday. If you're a Philadelphia Phillies fan, maybe you can go on my eBay page and buy this. If not, hey, maybe I'll gift it to somebody like I did last night, the Marcus Colston. So take care, everybody. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. We're out.